Welcome back to the Community Lounge. It's day 3 of TechEd Europe 2009, and I've managed to grab one of the top speakers who also happens to be an MVP. So please introduce yourself and tell everybody what your expertise is.
My name is Rafal Lukawiecki. I work for Project Botticelli Limited as a strategic consultant. I specialize in several things on a lower level, but architecture on a higher level. Specifically, I deal with business intelligence and data mining and security. However, what has interested me in those areas, at least for the past 3 years the most, is their architectural application.
So what are you doing in Berlin? What are you doing at TechEd?
Well, I've been speaking at TechEds for 11 years now. My first TechEd was in 1998. I missed last year, so I'm staging my comeback.
Oh, so how many sessions have you got and what are they about?
I've got 5 sessions.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's quite a bit. It keeps me so busy that I have not had more than about 15 minutes since the conference has begun. It's been quite a lot of work.
Well, I feel very, very privileged, as does everybody that's watching, that you've managed to take the time and come to the Community Lounge. So what are the session titles and a little bit about what you're doing?
So the 2 sessions on the architecture track, there is one I will be doing later on today. This is about the architecture of predictive programming. This is an almost unknown, very little heard of way of adding intelligence to software. This is artificial intelligence, but without the scary AI stuff. It uses a good old-fashioned data mining technology to find patterns hiding in data such as transactional logs to make your application more intelligent by making it make better decisions. So that's going to be today, and it's a conceptual talk but with demos and with code, so I hope to see a lot of people.
Oh, that's exciting. And what else? You've got some other sessions you mentioned?
Yes, I'm also doing sessions on architecture of cryptography tomorrow, and I'm going to talk a little bit more on cryptography and security in general on Friday, whilst the 2 interactive sessions I've done are hardcore advanced data mining techniques, so showing people how to parameterize data mining algorithms to make sure that they get the best results from their data mining process.
Wow. So anything else that you're doing apart from being stopped every 5 minutes by a person giving you questions and answers and stuff and comments about your sessions?
Karen, you'll make me blush.
So what do you do in community?
So I'm kind of a different community guy in a way. Obviously everybody's different, but I lurk in the news groups and forums. I post very little. Admittedly, I do not create an online persona as much as I probably could or should. I tend to concentrate on the old-fashioned face-to-face community, which is hard work, but it's still important. For example, there are a lot of MVPs speaking at this event, and we help each other tremendously. Pleased to say that I've had the pleasure of let me just tout myself a little bit, of winning the best session of TechEd for 6 years running. So I share some of the techniques, approaches and ways I prepare to sessions with others. And it's wonderful when some of the people I talked to and worked with achieve the top spot and get there. But it also works the other way around. Only yesterday, 15 minutes before my session, my little VGA adapter stopped working, and I was faced with a room full of people and no machine to do a demo on.
Oops.
And you don't want to be there, trust me. And there's Maciej Pilecki, an MVP in SQL Server, who works with me at Project Botticelli and outside, and we've cooperated for many years. And Maciej just gave me his computer, and there you are, and he saved my back.
Hey, MVP saving the day, and also, connecting with other people and improving, their learning and their experiences. That's exactly the value of community, whether it is online, or whether it's offline as you prefer, which is face-to-face. Incredibly important. So, what got you into IT?
I was going to be a chemist. And when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I knew that chemistry was my passion. Then I fell ill. I had to stay at home. I was taking injections, and I was bored to death. My neighbor gave me a book on writing basic, software in BASIC for mainframes. That was for ICL 1905 range of mainframes.
Wow, that must have been an interesting read at that age.
It was fascinating. I devoured that book.
Wow.
I mean, the world, it was like there was no night, no day, no injections. I didn't realize this existed. It was like heaven has opened itself and I touched another existence and the angels were, doing all of that stuff.
And so it was your epiphany moment
Yes.
of, wow, there's something different, there is something new, and I need to get involved.
Absolutely. I wrote my first basic program on punch cards. As soon as I got healthy enough, my neighbor who worked at a data center for the university in Poland at the time gave me access to that. They were all looking at me because this young guy, it wasn't long before I was doing things over there I probably shouldn't be doing, and which got me into all sorts of interesting things like security and writing more interesting software in fabulous languages such as Prolog and Lisp and Miranda and all the rest. So
wow.
I guess I caught the bug very early.
Well, yeah, you caught a different bug.
The mainframe bug.
The mainframe bug. So what do you love about IT?
I think what I really enjoy about it is the intellectual challenge. We are all different, but without an exception, everybody who works in IT is good at two intellectual tasks: organizing things and thinking in abstract terms. Abstraction is beautiful, and being able to deal in high levels of abstraction that no one else understands almost makes you feel a little bit elite in this business. And that gives me, I guess, some kind of passionate love for the talents that I and everybody else, all of the MVPs have. This is an intellectual challenge that I wouldn't be able, I think, to use almost any other walk of life.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of MVPs have said, it's the fact that it's ever changing, ever evolving, that the speed of how technology changes is phenomenal. So they're constantly learning. And being able to then take those learnings and actually build something that makes a difference really has been inspiring to a number of them. So some interesting points. But I know that you have some other passions, so I'm going to ask you a question, which is, what don't you like about IT?
The answer to that question would have been different over the years. Like in the past, I would have said that some of the almost zealotry, almost kind of religious-like feeling about this technology is better than another on account of just knowing one and not another. Sometimes sponsored for better or worse reasons by commercial companies. That was my pet peeve in the past. I think we've gotten over that now and we are far more grown up. Right now, the thing I really dislike about IT is how not green IT is. We burn far, far more fuel in a very irresponsible way than aviation does. And that doesn't make me feel good. I want people to start thinking about making IT greener. Yesterday I was at the architect dinner. It was a wonderful dinner where some of the luminaries in the architecture world came together. There was only about 15 or 20 of us. I don't know why I was there. I was very pleased to be over there. And one of the topics we talked about was green architecture. And I know people will think that's an IT pro thing, right? That you buy better processors, some cooler running racks and whatever else. No.
It's actually about how you design.
Exactly. Imagine that you can write a loop, a waiting loop, in two different ways. One, which waits and doesn't burn the CPU, and another, which actually uses more energy, and say, oh, what one loop does. Okay, if you put that loop on 17,000 instances of a big application such as Hotmail, it's going to make an awful lot of difference. Today, we are starting that, but in the future, every developer will be able to measure their code quality, not just by performance and security, but also by how green it is. Once cost of the CO2 and the energy is factored into your infrastructure and into your application layer on top of it, we will write software differently. Suddenly, there will be no reason to keep some of the outdated data centers that we call legacy today, simply because they are no longer accountable in terms of what we are to answer in front of the future people who are still to live on this planet.
Well, thank you very much for that insight. Thank you very much for coming around and taking the time. I know you're incredibly busy and you've got other things to do. So thanks very, very much. And you heard it here first, Green IT. Start looking, start investigating it, and see how you can make a difference.